Hey there, this is a second video in the Enharmonic German Augmented Sixth 5/7 pivot chord series. In the previous video, we looked at how in the key you're starting your phrase in, you could spell a German Augmented Sixth, respell it enharmonically as a 5/7 in a key a half step above that. Well, if that's true, then you could of course do the reverse and take the 5/7 in your starting key, respell it as a German Augmented Sixth in your destination key and modulate down a half step. So here's how to do that. In the key of C, I've spelled my 5/7, G, B, D, F. If I respell that F as E sharp, I now have an augmented sixth between my outer voices, and this functions as a predominant in the key of B minor. So here's how those chords would resolve differently. As a reminder, our German Augmented Sixth is spelled with our flat 6 scale degree, 1, flat 3, and sharp 4. Then the sharp 4 and the flat 6 resolve outwards by half step into octave 5th scale degree or sol. The flat 3 and 1 are held onto and then resolve down after the other two notes have resolved to avoid parallel fifths. Our 5/7 resolves exactly as we'd think. T would resolve to Do. In this case, because of the closeness of these voices here, I can have the T resolve down to Sol as a free resolution, otherwise known as a frustrated leading tone. But that's how I would expect it to go, and I'll play it for you now. Hopefully that is a familiar sound to you. Well, that same chord, when respelled, would then have different voice leading implications and have a different harmonic context. So then the E sharp would resolve up to F sharp. The G natural would be functioning as flat 6 in my destination key, going down by half step. And then we would resolve through the cadential 6/4. And I've analyzed it both ways. So let's listen to both these. We'll hear the 5/7 resolved to 1, then we'll hear that exact same sounding chord but respelled, and then hear how it resolves as your German Augmented Sixth in the key of B minor. So now let's take a look at what this would look like in a musical context. Or maybe I should say a quasi-musical context. This is obviously not a finished piece of music. This is just a harmonic backdrop. You would, of course, would have some kind of rhythm and melody that would be of interest. But this is harmonically what would be going on. Very basic phrase here. 1 to the 6, which is the tonic substitute. My predominant major 4, 5, 1. It's going to sound very basic and familiar. We have very strong associations with this 5/7. We have heard it resolve in this way so many times. That is what we're expecting when we hear it. But as in any pivot chord situation, we arrive on that chord and it feels and sounds one way. And after we've resolved to the next chord, in hindsight, that chord has a different meaning. So now here's a modulating phrase. It begins exactly the same way. I just respelled that F natural as an E sharp, and then resolved it according to the voice leading principles of B minor. And we will smoothly modulate mid-phrase from C major to B minor.